All right, you guys. Well, happy Sunday, January 10th. Here we are, second call of the year. And, I caught myself today as I was writing a few notes before we were going to get into tonight's training. I caught myself today. I kept saying 2021 is going to be amazing. And it actually, as I was reflecting on that phrase, and maybe you've caught yourself doing the same thing, saying it's going to be amazing, it's going to be amazing. It actually already is amazing if you decide it is amazing. Okay. And what I mean by that is that when we decide that something's going to be amazing, you're looking at a whole year ahead and it seems so much in the future. But really, right now, what's happening is that it's happening right now. Right. And I keep having a reflection. I'm writing a really emotional post, and that's why it took me a while to get it, let everybody. And then I didn't even end up posting it because it's getting so time was just going by too fast. But as I was thinking about January, and this is exactly how I feel about January 2021 to me, and I was thinking back about January 2014, I found out I was pregnant with my beautiful daughter, Sydney. And it was like I had my Arbonne business for a couple of years prior to that, but it was literally like I had drawn a line in the sand and told myself what I was going to stand for. What kind of person was I going to be? What kind of mom was I going to be? And it was like I refused from that point on to work for somebody else, to wake up to an alarm to work for somebody else's dreams, to literally be the mom that tells my kid to go for her dreams and knowing that I did it myself as well. And I remember going at it with all my heart, and I didn't necessarily get all the results that I wanted at the time that I made that decision. But you know what? Within the time that I went out and I had obstacles come all my way. And I'm going to tell you guys, we're going to hear about the do's, like the really concrete stuff tonight. But what I wish for all of you guys is that if you are on this call, I first of all want you to applaud yourself, because being there live is so much more powerful. Like Sunday nights are my very favorite night of the week. I literally go to bed vibrating. I am so happy and so grateful to be part of this community. And anybody who has ever listened to a recording after the call and was on the call, it's totally two different things. It's not the same thing. It's not the same vibe. You don't get the same feeling. You are part of the energy that we're all collectively participating to tonight. So I'm just so proud of all of you guys that are on here live right now. And I'll tell you, like, of course, becoming a regional vice president and national vice president are not necessarily typical results. But of course, we know that you guys are not typical. And of course, go see earnings.arbonne.com. But when I made that decision in January 2014, I gave it all I had. I was a pregnant lady. I had all the excuses in the world. And by the time I gave birth to my beautiful daughter, I was a brand new regional vice president by the end of that year. And I know that so many obstacles came my way, but I stuck to what I had to do. And I went to bed every single night feeling proud of myself. So what I wish for you is that if you're saying 2021 is going to be amazing, or if you're saying that January is going to be amazing, or if you're saying this week is going to be amazing, you need to look at every 24 hours and what you invested into your business. And that's why tonight is so powerful, because we're talking about follow-ups and following up. The money's in the follow-up. The business is in the follow-up. I think about all of the business that I have today direct to me. And that is all because it wasn't because I shared Arbonne with them once. It's because I had to follow up. And you know what? Sometimes we approach somebody and we forget how many times we were approached. Maybe you were one of those people that like heard about Arbonne one day and we're like, I'm all in. But the average person in our industry needs to be approached a minimum of 8 to 12 times. That's the average time. So you have to know that this is a relationship building business. This is all of it. And I'm sure, Laura, I don't want to take away from your training, Laura, but like it is absolutely all about the follow-up. And so tonight is such a powerful subject, and I'm so excited because Laura is our trainer tonight. And so to give you guys a little bit, I'm so excited that everybody gets to discover you tonight. So to give you guys a little bit of hindsight, first of all, Laura's one of my friends. She's a sideline sister in Ottawa. I love you. And she's a former dental hygienist, a dental assistant. When she found out, this is so ironic because I'm giving you my story about when I found out I was having Sydney. When she found out she was having her twins, she never wanted to go back to work. And she started her Arbonne business in 2013 or 2013. And so she is here. She's on fire. There's so many great things happening, and she is just an expert at this business. So I am so excited to pass it over to you. And then Laura's going to pass it off to Debbie, who's going to wrap up this call. So on that note, have an exceptional Sunday night. And I am so, so grateful to be part of this amazing community with all of you guys. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Alex. Thank you. Okay, so when Alex asked me to do this, she said customer care and follow-up. So I'm giving you a little bit of my customer care, like my tips that I do with my preferred clients. So yeah, my name is Laura Lemon, and I'm a regional vice president, and I'm in Ottawa. And I've been in Arbonne. It's almost been 8 years now. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Best, amazing last 7 years of my life. Okay, so customer care. I want you guys to think about, if you are a client of somebody's, how do you want to be treated? So however you want to be treated, you have to do the same thing back to your preferred clients. What would you love for a consultant to do for you? How would you love for that consultant to make you feel? That's what you need to do. What makes that person so special? So your clients, they're your clients for a year. Your PCs are your PCs for a year. They could go and sign up and re-sign up with someone else in the next year. So you want to make sure that you are the best Arbonne consultant ever, and they'll never want to go anywhere else. You want to hear that someone said, oh, you know what, I was invited to a party, but I said, oh no, like I already have my consultant. Like, you want to hear those things. So you need to be the best consultant ever. So what does that look like? So number one, you have to make your clients feel really special. You want them to know that they are important to you, and not just like a client, right? You want to build that relationship. And I'm going to talk about that a lot, which is what Alex said. Get to know them a little bit. If they're on Facebook or Instagram, comment on their pictures, and just don't be like, oh, love this, like this, or whatever. Like, actually comment, oh my gosh, I went there this winter, or I was in Florida too. I hope you have an amazing time, right? Actually build relationships and have conversations with your clients. Remember things like, are they having a new baby? Did they get a new house? Did they just have a wedding? Go back and ask them those questions. Don't just reach out to them for Arbonne. Go back and ask them the questions about things that's going on in their life. Hey, I saw you were on holiday. You went skiing with your family. It looked amazing. Like, do you suggest going there? I'm looking for a place, right? Like, have those relationships and conversations. If you have a client VIP group, or like a Facebook group, or whatever it is, even on Instagram or social media, any social media, don't just post all Arbonne all the time. And I think this is what Brooke went over last week, but not always Arbonne. If you're posting about something that you love that we don't have in Arbonne, when you do go and share Arbonne, people are gonna be like, oh, well, hey, wait, like Laura likes this other brand, not just Arbonne all the time, right? So they're gonna, once they know, like, and trust you, they're gonna believe you if you're not just using, that's all I use, right? There are a few things that are in Arbonne that we don't have, so I get to use those, but you don't always wanna be just Arbonne, because you want people to trust you. And they know that it's coming genuine if you are using a few products that we don't have that they might benefit from. When new products are launched, I create like a base message. So if I know that there's going to be a launch coming up of like GTC or CNTC, I create a base text message, whatever it is, that I'm going to send out to all my preferred clients. But then I add my own personal touch. I do a copy and paste. Actually, I voice message everything because it's way faster. But you could copy and paste that message. But at the beginning, hey, Sarah, I know how much you love our Age Well line, and we have some new face masks coming out. I think it would complement it so much. I think you're going to love it, right? So give them a little bit of not just, hey, how you doing? Put their name in there and say, how you doing? How is this? And how are your kids doing? Hey, I just wanted you to know we're launching some new products. I think you would love them so much. Or another thing that you can do is, I like the whole like kind of cross sell too. But if you do know that I crafted this message, and I'm using Sarah because she's one of my consultants. Hey, Sarah, I noticed that you do CrossFit. Oh my God, so do I. I love it so much. What's your box name? Whatever. I love to use the pre-workout. Have you ever used it? I know how much you love Fizz. Our pre-workout is amazing. It's not going to give you the jitters. Like, give a little bit of information and say, hey, I can pop some in the mail to you or drop some off to you. What's your address? Whatever it is. But let them know that you have something that that they like already. Maybe there's something that will complement them with something else. Then drop it off, but don't just drop off, the prepare and endure. Send them some protein. I did this the other day. Someone wanted to try protein. So I gave them some protein. I gave them a catalog. I gave them some Fizz. I gave them like literally all the nutrition, and I put a little skincare in there, right? So you want to make sure that you give a little bit of everything. Dropped it off and said, and I sent them a message and I was like, hey, Jose, just check. I put a little present at your door for you. Happy Saturday, right? It's those little things that people love. Send thank yous. When someone places an order in your store, send them a thank you and say, write it out, right? I'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how many people send me messages and say, oh my God, you sent me something in the mail and you hand wrote it and said, thank you, like with your own handwriting. And it was not just prepaid, like pre typed out, right? People appreciate those little things. Put a fizz in and say, even if it's not anything special, if it's just like, hey, happy February, have a tea on me and have a relaxing night, whatever it is, send them little thank yous in the mail. Appreciate them for what they're doing for your business. When a person orders, okay, send them a message. Okay, I did that. Oh, when someone does order something, send them a message, say, hey, thank you so much for shopping in my online boutique. Let them know when they're expecting their order. Let them know that you're going to be following up to make sure that it got there okay, and that, see if they have any questions. Once they receive their order, you can check, right? You can check tracking. Once they receive their order, send them that message. Hey, do you have any questions? I can help with you, whatever it is. Let me know if you have any problems. I can help with whatever you need. The other thing I always do too, is I always put in new PC orders all the time, because sometimes the website, maybe they can't navigate it. Maybe they don't know how close they are to a free product. I always put in new PC orders. And you know what? I put in orders all the time anyways for my clients, because that's just a really nice service. The amount of people that say, well, thank you so much, right? But at the same time, you're going to make sure that they're going to get their free shipping, they're going to get their free product, whatever it is. And then what I do is I send them a voice message, or I send them a text message, and I say, thank you for supporting my store. Your login is this. This is your temporary password. You can shop at any time for your everyday essentials, and you get a discount. Today, I always tell them this too. Today you received free shipping, free product, you saved this much money, and guess what? You get a free product on your next order. And then I do like a little hands up emoji, like, woohoo, who doesn't love free stuff, right? Like, let them know the value for what they got for their order. Remember that PCs are your next possible business builder. So build that relationship with them. They could be your next ace in your business. So treat them that way by showing up every single day and thanking them, right? This is where your paychecks, this is where your earnings are coming from. You can also check the CRM. It will prompt you when people are ready for reorders. There's email templates. There's lots of amazing information in there, but it will also help you, let you know, like, hey, this person purchased this. They may like this, right? It will help you give you suggestions on what they might like. Check to see if people have rewards. Some people don't know that even though they get emails, they don't know that they have free products. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I need to reorder this. I'm going to make sure that I get my free gift. And don't feel like you are bugging them and like just wanting their order. You're just giving them, oh, hey, just a heads up, you still have a free product on your account. And so many people say, oh my gosh, I totally forgot. I need some more shampoo, whatever it is. Oh, hey, is there anything else you need? I can help you with that as well. Okay, if you're on social media, show up every day and share Arbonne in the way that you're using it. People are watching, right? And they know what you're doing, and they're building your relationships with them this way. And you'd be surprised how many people come back to you and say, oh, hey, what about that 30 days? They may have never liked anything or commented, but all of a sudden they're like, hey, tell me about that 30 days. And you're like, oh my God, right? So be so consistent and show up in your business every single day. This is a really good tip. If you have someone doing the 30 days, don't just plop them in the Facebook group and never speak to them again. You have to build that relationship. Keep a message thread going for the full 30 days. How are you feeling today? Hey, I just found these crackers. I love these crackers. This is my favorite snack today. Oh, hey, I saw that you got this, the coffee protein. This is my favorite shake recipe, right? Ask them how they're feeling, if they need help with anything. The other thing is too, because you have this relationship going on with them, at the 3-week mark, this is a really exciting time. The 3-week mark, they are going to be needing to reorder soon. The 3-week mark, they're going to be seeing a lot of results. They're going to be feeling really good, and they're going to see the difference, right? So this is when you can ask them, say, hey, how are you feeling? Write it down, see what they say. Oh my gosh, have so much energy. I'm sleeping so much better. Oh, Alex, I'm so happy to hear you're feeling so good. You're having a lot of energy. You're sleeping better. Let me ask you a question. If you could help other people feel better like this, or if you could help other people have the same kind of energy and doing the same thing you're doing in the same program, and you could help other people and earn some money, would that sound like something that you're interested in, right? Wouldn't it be amazing if you could help other people feel the way that you do right now and give them the gift of health? How many people are going to be like, heck yeah, I know people who want to feel like this, right? You're giving a gift of health, and people want to help people. So 3 weeks, 30 days, everybody should be following up with their preferred clients and asking them if they want to help other people feel good and be healthy. Okay, I'm almost done because I know we're running out of time. Following up with, following up with consultants. So always assume positive intent. If someone does not message you back, assume positive intent. They're busy. They were driving. They saw the message come in. They didn't get a chance to look at it. They're with their kids. They're putting their kids to bed at night, right? Like, how many times do you look at your messages and say, oh yeah, right, I don't want to read that yet because I know I have to respond. And then the message goes all the way down. You're like, crap. That's what I did with Alex today, this weekend. Because I was away, I had to go somewhere, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't message Alex back, right? Assume positive intent. I just got really busy and I was like, okay, I have to message her back. That's other people too. If you start thinking, oh my gosh, maybe they're annoyed by me, or hey, I'm being too pushy. Is that what they're thinking? And you start questioning what you're saying. All that's doing is your ego is keeping you back. It's keeping you small, and it's not allowing you to grow. And then what happens is all these stories go in your head and you're like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do anything. And then when you don't do anything, you don't see results. And then when you don't see results, you don't see the success you're looking for, right? So it's this bad pattern. So always assume positive intent that, hey, they're just busy. The other thing that happens too is you waste so much time and energy, and your vibration, if you're a high vibe person, you're wasting so much time worrying about that one person who hasn't messaged you back. That's also saying that you are not messaging enough people, and you are not in enough activity if you really care about that one person, right? Just be in so much massive activity that you even forget. Okay, so, and think about how many times has someone messaged you about Arbonne maybe, and how many times did it take for you to hear it? Exactly what Alex said, right? 8 to 12 times for someone to hear it. So it's always those little touchbacks before they're open to saying yes or hearing more. Follow-ups, I always say that 48 to 72 hour window. Don't wait a week. Don't wait like, oh, hey, I know that they're putting their kid to bed right now. I'm not going to message them. Or they're working tomorrow. I'm going to ask them tomorrow night. No, if you think of it, that's when you're doing it. That's when you're meant to do it. Otherwise, you are going to talk yourself out of it, and it's going to be a week, and you're like, oh, forget it. They've probably forgotten about it. Oh, it's too late now. And then we come up with all these excuses, right? As soon as you think of it, do it. 48 to 72 hours, another really great kind of timeline. And you can say, if it's someone who's ordering something, hey, I'm putting an order in right now. Just wanted to double check to see if you needed anything. Or I'm dedicating tomorrow morning for all of my orders. Let me know what you want and I'll put your order in, right? Easy peasy. So, and if it's about the business, I kind of have like a 2-time follow-up. The first time, if you haven't heard back from them, say, hey, just checking in, wondering if you had a chance to watch that video I sent you, or hey, just checking in, just checking to see if you read my message or whatever it is. If you didn't hear back again and they're like completely ghosted you, I would say, leave it alone. You don't want to be pushy. You don't want to feel needy. It doesn't mean no forever. It just means no for right now. And you also want to create that still healthy relationship with them so that you can go back to them, right? You want to just be like, oh, hey, it's okay, and this is where I call the take back method. Take the offer away from them. So if someone hasn't messaged you twice, you can say, hey, Erin, I'm gathering by the lack of response. I haven't heard from you. You're just not interested in that at the moment, or the timing isn't right, or it's not right in your life. Totally cool. I really appreciate your time. I've loved speaking with you. Like, it was awesome, right? Just be so okay with it. And this way it takes it off the table for them. And what that does is it's like, you don't need them. Hey, it's okay. It's all good. I know where I'm going. I actually don't really need you. This is what I'm doing. When you're ready, you can come back. You're taking it away. And what happens a lot of times is people message you back. Oh my God, I totally forgot to message you. No, it's just, they may say it's not the right time right now, but I still want to hear more. That's when you have the opportunity to say, okay, perfect. I'm going to jot you in. How about I message you in like a month and we can like revisit this. Or they might say, no, sorry, I got really, really busy, whatever it is, I want to hear more, right? But if you take it away, you're making it so that you don't need them, and you're not desperate, and you're not like looking at your phone all the time to see if they've messaged you back. Be consistent. If you're doing your business daily and showing up, that person that you have asked is watching. Guaranteed they're watching. And if you're consistently doing your business, when you do have that time to go back and ask them or revisit it with them, they're going to be like, okay, yeah, I've been watching. You're having so much fun. I see you on these team meetings. Your skin is glowing. You look amazing. I love the recipes. Like, yeah, I'm open to hearing more. So know that you just have to keep showing up, because those people will come back. Following up is so huge in our business. And I have so many consultants on my team that said no, or actually I've had consultants, and I'm sure some of them are on here right now, who just became wholesale buyer consultants, right? But I would always touch back with those people who are just buying the products for discount. And then when they're ready, they'll be the next rock star in your team. And I have so many people, if I hadn't followed up, they would not be on my team right now. So don't give up on someone just because they said no. Just continue to give little touches, send little messages like, oh, hey, like a normal person, just be a normal person, and build that relationship with them, because they will come back. And when you share it again, you have so much more of a better chance of them saying yes. So that's all I got. So next we have up the amazing Debbie Neal.
Laura, that was so good. It was
Thank
so
you.
good. And you guys, I'm really in love with these Sunday night calls. And I feel so much gratitude for Alex for like really spearheading this, because it's something that was like sitting on our hearts for a while. And, we were like going to do it, but then there's so many amazing nations in my success line, and who was doing this and who was doing that. And then I was like, okay. And then all of a sudden Alex, and I was like, awesome. You do it. I follow, we sandwich, we bring the energy, and then we just enroll incredible leaders. And I have to say that so far, every single leader that's trained has been so amazing. And as you guys watch, first of all, we're having an awesome turnout. It's growing every week. And I want you guys, as part of your visualization, if it's a goal of yours, an affirmation, I want you to kind of view these type of things as your segue to our global training conference or our national training conference, and realize the power that you have inside of you, and the worthiness that you have inside of you, and the gifts you have inside of you, and see yourself speaking on these calls. And here's where, again, the law of attraction comes in. Yes, it makes us feel good when we're empowered and we're invited, but what's the feeling behind it? Like the love, so when I watch leaders speak, I watch Alex open up with her energy and her tips, and then we see Laura, like it's servant leadership. It's, you guys are taking notes. It's filling you up. It's knowledge, it's inspiration. And so it's amazing to get invited, but it's so selfless when these leaders come on here and serve and give of their time. And I'm just so proud and grateful. So there's not much to add, but you know that I always have a little something to add at the end. So I had a couple of notes. Most of them Laura went over, but here's a couple of follow-ups that I just want you guys to realize. You will have business builders that will quit your business, okay? And that fortune in that follow-up has the potential to be absolutely amazing, okay? And everything ties into abundance and high vibe. And just the way Laura was like, okay, no problem with the person that's not following up. Sometimes when people quit our business, and you guys, I've had people at every single level quit my business. Now you might be a district or an area, be like, oh, what? And like, it's kind of like finding out that possibly there's no Santa, even though there actually really is Santa. Like Santa is a feeling, it's an energy. It's like the law of attraction. Like Santa is so present in my house. Okay. But this will occur. And so as you're building that as you're building that energy, as you're building your success, you're going to have a really high vibe. And I also want you to know something. It's not, when somebody quits their business, it's not always a phone call that's going to say, hey, Debbie, I want to let you know I'm no longer going to be working Arbonne. Okay. That's not the way it occurs. We don't quit when we make that phone call. We quit when we stop being excellent. We quit when it doesn't mean it's a permanent quit. Okay. But that's really what quitting looks like. We're kind of quitting on ourselves. But even the people who truly like make a public service announcement and they're no longer doing Arbonne, sometimes I've grown my leadership quite a bit in 14 and a half years, and I have so much more to grow it. Okay. I'm like a little baby speck on where I want to be. However, I've learned, and the wisdom and the timing and the width and the abundance and the seasoning of becoming a leader. There's been times in my business where I was like, how could, like, it was like a personal, how could you leave me? All that I've done. Have you ever said that? Like, and then we say it's not about us. All that I did for you, you leave me. Okay. And so as we grow, we want to be able to say and really look at people and say, our office and our hearts are open. Most people quit because they stop believing in themselves. Most people quit because they stop doing the work and they focused on what wasn't working instead of their vision. So the point about the follow-up is you guys always go back to those people. How are you doing? What's going on? We miss you. We miss you. I try to send at least one of those texts a day, and you guys, it's only to the people that I genuinely missed. There will be people that leave your business and you're like, Arbonne wasn't for them. Energy changed. I wish them well. Good luck to you. Those are not the people getting a text from me that says, we miss you. Okay. So be really mindful of that. Another thing that I really wanted to touch up different, but kind of in its follow-up. So when we think of follow-up, we think of clients. We talk of, and the fortune is in the follow-up, you guys. There's been, my third Mercedes-Benz, go to earnings.com. My results are not typical. They are not average. But one of my very first Mercedes-Benz on the road, I just started Arbonne. And I called this person and I was so excited. You guys, I didn't talk to her for like 10 years. And she was like, thank you, but no, thank you. Absolutely not. I have a cousin that once did Arbonne. It doesn't work. I was a consultant, you guys, 0 evidence, 0 earnings, 0 management title. She's like, you know what? And I'm like, well, I'm going to earn the Mercedes. And she's like, you earn that Mercedes. You call me back. Like if you're a parent, you ever tell your kids, go clean your room. You clean your room, you come back. You think you're buying yourself an hour and all of a sudden like, it's clean. And you're like, what? What? Like I was that kid Christmas morning where I'd go to my parents' room at 4 o'clock. I'm like, Merry Christmas, AM. And they'd be like, go back to bed for an hour. They didn't know that I actually sat there for 1 hour. And I was like, hey, I'm back, 5 AM. Like they were hoping I would nod off and come back at like 8:30. Okay. So she's like, go earn that Mercedes. Call me back. Okay. I won't talk about timelines, but the minute I got my Mercedes, I'm like, hey, me again. And she's like, Deb, no, not the right time. I'm going to Montauk. I'm doing this for the summer. I was like, okay, can I follow up with you in a month or so? She's like, sure. I called her back in a month. You guys, this is what she said to me. Deb, I appreciate you following up with me, but I will never, ever do Arbonne with you. I was like, okay. Can I call you back in 3 months? Can I follow? And she laughed and she was like, okay. Like people, sometimes we back away. Like, don't be afraid to say, okay, no problem. Can I follow up with you? Very few people have ever told me no. Okay. And so what happened in those 3 months, a great article came out about Arbonne, and I sent her the email and said, next time you're having a cup of coffee, just read the article. She wrote me back and said, I think it's time we have a conversation. I wrote her back and said, I'd love to, but right now I'm in Maui because I'm now a national vice president with Arbonne. And when I get back, I would love to have that conversation with you. Long story short, she promoted to regional vice president of my business. So you guys, I want you to really ask yourself, and this goes me to my next thing, and I swear I'm going to make it quick. I want you to follow up on your why. I want you to follow up on your vision. Those are the follow-ups I want to talk about for a moment as well, because I heard the word ego come up a few times, right? Because it gets inside of our heart. Imagine, and if, CNTC, when I spoke in Ottawa back in 2012, I actually did tell that very story, because people love stories. And so follow up on your why and your vision, because when you continually follow up on those things and you're doing a gut check with your heart and your mind and your soul, and you know where you're going, and you're coming from a place of authentically, passionately wanting to share this with somebody, and you know that you bring value and you circle back to that place, you're going to show up in a different place. Because what happens when we don't follow up with ourselves, the most important thing to follow up with, we allow the reactions of other people to become what we're becoming. Okay. So decide what you're becoming. Follow up on all of your reach outs, like hold yourself accountable is what I'm talking about. Follow up with the boss, and you're the boss. Are you doing what you said you were going to do? Follow up with your goals. Are they in check? Are you in alignment? Now that we're in 2021, here's what I want everybody to do. I want you to follow up with where you ended last year. And I want you to have a good, hard conversation with yourself and say, not only set goals, but what am I going to do different this year? I want to get really clear, and I want to follow up with myself on how I am going to show up differently in the world. I'm not going to keep doing the same thing that I did last year, because I'm going to then get the same exact result. So follow up with your goals, follow up with your vision. What's your vision? You know, my new thing, and I'm, first of all, I'm doing this 21-day manifesting challenge with Gabby Bernstein, and I'm really, really loving it. But like, as I'm doing these things, I'm actually sitting in front of my vision board, because one of the things she talks about is like, we have this vision and we write it down, and it's affirmations. Follow up with this every single day. But then she talks about like, why do you want these things? Like, why? Follow up with the feeling behind your vision. Why do you want these things? Do we talk about RVP or NVP because that's just the next step? I'm going to be a national vice president. Why? What makes this a passion of yours? What's the feeling behind it? What's the energy? Is it the lives? Is it the earnings? Is it the choices? Is it the, can you see the people? So follow up with your vision, follow up with relationships, build a community, a team, you know, a type of thing. Sometimes when we don't love the way things are going, we talk about that we get ghosted. How many times do people ghost us? But then I want to ask you this, how many times do you ghost me? How many times do you ghost your potential? How many times do you ghost your Arbonne family? How many times do you like poof the magic dragon and nobody can find you? So we need to be seen. And sometimes we don't all love what we see, but that's where the growth happens. When we stay rooted in our vision and our goals and our love, and we're willing to be vulnerable, and when we're making that connection with people, when you have a mentor that trusts you, or you trust them, and you're really getting down to why you're doing this business, follow up with your commitment. Your commitment. I want you to get pumped about what you're creating this year. What are you committed to? And when you look at that commitment, what actions every single day are you committed to? Follow up with becoming the next version of yourself. What does that look like? What does becoming the next and best version of you look like? You know, one of them for me is to do the 30-day program more often than I did it last year. Every other cycle, I'm in at 100% this year. So it'll be at least 6 times 100%. You know why? Because if I were to let little things slip in my life, that's when we let goals slip, or reach out slip, or incentives slip. If I want to be on my A game in one thing, it's being on my A game in everything, okay? So follow up with your why, follow up with your vision, you guys. Follow up on like really sitting down and what am I going to do differently this year? What actions am I going to put behind the words? What follow through am I going to put up? Follow up with clients and consultants, yes, but it starts with following up with you, your why, your vision, your goals, and hold yourself so accountable that you're pumped. I am pumped over my vision this year. I'm excited. I'm pumped. I'm engulfed. I'm a little bit fearful. There's a few things I'm fearful, but I'm leaning into that fear every single day. And I'm using that to have it become my superpower, because that's how we evolve and grow. So I just want to wish you guys all the most incredible night. And I get to see you in a very short amount of time. I'll see you in 1 hour and 10 minutes on our book club if you're joining us. And this is what I also want to say about our book club. It's really growing and it's really incredible. So some of you might be saying, well, you know, I haven't started the book yet. I'm going to join the next one. I invite you to join us anyway. It's not an invitation not to read the book, but it's such an energy. It's such a community. It's so I don't want to say it's so inspiring because I'm hosting the call and I sound like a jackass. Okay. But it's great energy to, I mean, who says that? Okay. But it's just really, really good. And I invite you to join us because you know what? I feel we couldn't be further from each other in this last year, but I have to say, I feel closer to you guys. The connection isn't always an actual physical thing. It's an energy and I'm in love with it and I'm grateful for it. So I will see you